Well, hey folks, my name is Brad Martin, and I have hiked up into the mountains of Vermont on this brisk November day to do some metal detecting around an old home foundation that's over here. Now, I'm pretty optimistic we're gonna find quite a few things today because the folks that lived here were here from the end of the 1700s all the way up to almost the 1900s. So that means we're gonna be finding things from the end of the colonial period all the way up until almost modern times. Now, they were farmers, so they probably didn't have a whole lot of wealth, but I'm still excited to see what we'll find. I'm gonna get my metal detector out and get started. So it's kind of funny, I find it funny, that when you metal detect places like this, of this age, you seem to always kind of find the same things over and over again. Spoon bowls, don't know where the handle went on that one. Big flat brass buttons. Nails, obviously. I'm not complaining, I'm having a good time. It just must be that this is the kind of stuff people lost the most. No matter who you were losing buttons and utensils. See if we can find a few things that are not that. Okay, how cool is this? There was a log laying right here, and I had to flip it over. It was underneath, and this is probably the later part of the occupancy here, 1800s, but check that out. Clock key. Definitely. I mean, I say definitely, just very confident that this is a clock key. It's actually very light and thin. I wonder if it's going to have some kind of text, maybe not. Man, that is a great find. An old clock key. I wonder where the clock went. Do you think that they lost the key and then had to get rid of the clock too? You know, and I say clock, could have been anything you wound up, right? Maybe an old toy, a music box. By the size of it though, I assume it's a clock. Man, that's a great find. Well, a moment ago, I found this little brass who knows what. And I wasn't going to show you because I just have no idea what it is. But then, just now, I found another one. And this one has a hole in it. So I will let you know if I find any more. But in case I don't, let me know what you think this might be. It seems like maybe it was a little mechanism or a little, I don't know, I'm thinking like a lamp or something that had multiple little moving parts. They both have a patina on them as if they're early 1800s, 1850, something around there. Just a guess. I don't know, I'm gonna hang on to them just in case there's something special. Let me know what you think. So, I'm trying to explain where I am right now to some extent. The home is right behind the camera right here. There's a big cellar. And then I'm in what has become somewhat of a trail. The landowner uses this on his four-wheeler, but this is not where the road originally was. Maybe you can see a ways behind me here. There's a stone wall. Just on this side of that stone wall is where the old road was. Up here in the mountains, when we get a lot of rain over centuries, if they don't build these roads correctly with water bars, they just get washed out. And that's what happened to that one. It is now a stream to some extent, and this has become the new road. So the thing that I just found, it's at the later end of the habitation here, if not after they were already gone. But I'm kind of excited about it because it is a tag and it has a bunch of writing on it. I'm not sure, we're gonna look at it together here. So here it is. I cleaned it off just a little bit to see what we were working with here to make sure it wasn't a dog tag lost in 1974. And it's not. D and H CC. No, excuse me. D and H C Co. And then S, Co's, D&H, C-Co with a 7-4. And it's a tag and it has this strange little piece cut out. And at the top, it does say Chicago. Chicago. So, Without the benefit of the internet right now, I don't have cell service. I can't do any research on this. I can't make out what that first word is before Chicago. It seems like this has done some traveling to get up here into the mountains of Vermont. And judging by what it is, I'm gonna guess this is the very end of the 1800s. But like I said, where I am on this trail next to an old road could be from the early 1900s as well. That's what I love about places like this that were lived in for so long. The array of things that you can find, things from colonial times as well as stuff like this. But what it is exactly, can't wait to find out. All right, this is something I've always wanted to find. It's not colonial, it's definitely on the later side of when people lived at this particular home, but I got a really loud target. I was pretty sure it was iron. It is iron. There's a whole bunch of glass in this hole. That's a little medicine bottle. Check this out. It's an iron. A clothes iron. Now these, I think, typically have like brands on them, but this one is just absolutely caked, and obviously since it's iron, it's been in the ground, it's all rusted up. It has all of these nodules on it, which I'm gonna have to bust off. And there's like glass stuck to it. I don't know, maybe there was a fire here or something, but that's what it is, an old iron, a clothes iron. Now, I don't know about this specific one, but typically they had handles. Might be down there somewhere. This has got to be like towards the end of the 1800s here. Man, that's awesome. I'm not going to want to carry that around all day, but I'm definitely taking it home. I need it to look sharp. Probably going to church every week. That's so awesome. An old clothes iron. Well, it's pretty rare I find pieces of glass or pottery this big, but there was just a little bit sticking out of the ground, and I yanked on it. There might still be more of it down there, but is that a chamber pot? I don't really know anything about them, but that's with the lip on the top. That's the first thing it reminds me of. Judging by where we are and how old this place is. And it's right next to a depression right here, which leads me to believe maybe this is the privy. I'm digging a couple holes, see if there's any more glass down in there. But this is pretty interesting. So earlier in the day, I got a great target, and it ended up being an iron chain link. Looks pretty light duty, although it probably lost a lot of its mass over the centuries in the ground. Not totally interesting, but I just found another chain. And I found a few of these this year. I always showed them in the videos, and unfortunately I can't really say for certain, ever, what they went to. And I always ask you folks your thoughts, and a lot of people had some great guesses. Pocket watch, glasses, maybe just a bracelet or a necklace. It is brass, although it was likely plated in something, silver. But that's what it is, only 2 links of a tiny little delicate brass chain. I suppose it could be something in the house as well. You know, maybe they had a snuffer attached to a candlestick. One of these days I'm going to find some brass chain attached to whatever it was intended for, and then we'll know for sure. So the little area that I'm in right now, there is just a ton of iron in the ground. I'm adjacent to the cellar, which is right over there. Assuming this was a barn area or at least a stable of some kind. Because some of the iron targets sounded pretty good. Decided to dig them up. Got a horseshoe, another fragment of a horseshoe, another large shoe I set up on a rock over there already. And once all of those kind of loud iron targets were out of the way, started to go through a little bit slower with a different program on my metal detector. I found what I think is a ring. Oop. Definitely. It appears to be brass wedding band that would have been plated in gold, more than likely, at the time. And as far as I know, this style of brass wedding bands, looks like this was probably a lady's, were really popular around the Civil War time. They were obviously much more inexpensive than a gold one is. Maybe they preferred wearing these while working, in case they lost it, whatever the case was. And what's fun is maybe we can make a little hypothesis of what happened when they lost this amongst all of these horseshoes. Did they lose it while riding? Did they lose it while putting the horses up for the night? Can't say for sure, but that's certainly what that is. Somebody wore this on their finger in the 1800s. They bought it. They lost it. And here I am, year 2021, finding it. With a machine I'm sure they couldn't even imagine. That's a great find. One of the most common questions I get through email or through the Facebook page is about gear. What backpack do I wear? What boots do I have on my feet? What do I use for a jacket and pants? And so I'm excited that today Revolution Race wanted to sponsor another one of my videos. So I'm just going to talk for a minute about my jacket and pants. The jacket that I have on is the Dark Olive Cyclone Rescue model. There's no chance of rain today, but there is a very, very cold breeze, and this works great as a windbreaker on top of being totally waterproof. All of the zippers are taped, and one of my favorite parts about this jacket is that it is equipped with a Reco reflector. Now, if for some reason I got lost or hurt out here, helicopters can see this reflector from the sky and aids in my rescue. The pants that I have on today are my absolute favorites. I've talked about these in a ton of videos. These are the Rusty Orange GPX Pro pants. Now, in addition to them being water resistant and the whole front panel of the legs being a thick, rugged material, there's actually a pocket in the knee that allows you to insert knee pads, which is perfect for getting down, digging holes, metal detecting. If you're interested in picking up some Revolution Race clothing, please click the link in the description box below this video. It'll bring you to their website. You'll get a great deal on some awesome Swedish designed outdoor clothing. All right, enough talking. I'm gonna go turn the metal detector back on, see if we can find a few more things today. Well, a second ago, I just found this. And I said, oh, little tiny pistol ball. And I said, oh, wait a minute, it's brass. And then I saw this, and I said, oh, it's a ball button. But that is not a shank. And I said, oh, weird. I don't know what it is, and I threw it in my box. Rechecked my hole, and there was this. What do you suppose that is? Now, the first thing I thought of was like a piercing jewelry, but clearly we're late 1700s up to the middle of the 1800s here. This is most certainly not that. I didn't break this. This was already broken, which leads me to believe it broke and dropped from whatever it was in. I suppose it could be something to do with, I don't know. I'm not even going to guess. Let me know your thoughts. Bizarre. Well, this was a great sounding target on the metal detector. A piece of brass. And this is somewhat of a common find. It goes to a saddle. It is one part. It's kind of like the escutcheon behind another piece of brass that would have come out, and it would have been a strap guide for a leather strap. And find both pieces of them, but I've never found one all together. That's pretty cool. Little piece of saddle hardware, and of course, the time period of the folks that lived here, everybody was using horses to get where they needed to go, so these are a common thing at places this age. And sometimes they're quite plain, but this one has a nice little design around the edge. Pretty cool. Little strap guide escutcheon. Well, I've found several mysterious objects today so far, just things that don't know what they are, but they're interesting. And I've also found a couple chain links. And now I found something that is both of those things. I don't think it's a chain link, but it is an iron something or other with a really pretty interesting shape to it. Now, I'm going to assume that this is horse tack that has a very specific purpose. Maybe a strap went through here, a hook went through here, who knows, but if any of you horse people out there recognize that, please let me know. I've been finding quite a few horse-related items today, so that would make sense, but never seen a little iron object like this, so ornate. Well, this was a very, very deep, quiet target. I almost didn't dig it because it was probably going to be iron, in my opinion. But it's been slow, decided to give it a shot. And I had to dig through a bunch of roots here, probably see. And I'm pretty sure this is a coin. It's very, very crumbly though. So there's a very good chance this is just gonna fall apart once I start cleaning it, but not sure. I'll let you look at it. As you can see, it's just pretty smooth. But, you know, I'll get my toothbrush out. Yeah, I see it. Man, that's lucky. Super lucky. Just visible enough. You can make it out. Holy smokes, we got a date. I never would have believed it. So after some rubbing with the toothbrush, as you can see, it is a left-facing head. And up here in the top, you can see that it says C-O-N, which is Connecticut. And on this side, you can see Britannia. And at the very bottom is a date. A minute ago I said that it was visible, but it actually, I can't really tell, but it's probably, you know, late 1780s. I can maybe make out 1787 there. Man, I thought for sure this was gonna be just a blank disc of brass. And that's a great find. State copper is one of my favorite things to find out here. All right, this seems like a pretty good note to end the day on, I'd say. It's been so slow all day. Ended on a high note. All right, folks, well, I'm gonna call it there. The temperature's dropping out here. We're past the time change now on the east coast of the United States, which means it's only 3 o'clock, but it's gonna be getting dark like very soon, so I have to get out of the woods. All things considered, I found quite a few things today, a few things I'm really pretty excited about, and I've got them all out on a rock over here. Let's take a look. Okay, all in all, not a bad day at all. It was a bit slow, but you know, the pile of treasures isn't the smallest I've ever had, that's for sure. Starting from the back is the iron. Like I said before, I've never found one. It's kind of a silly thing, but I've always wanted to find one. I don't know why. They're just kind of unique. Something that you don't really think about folks really having or using that long ago. Iron loop, not sure what it is. Clock key, saddle strap guide. These things, again, not sure. But if you folks have any ideas, let me know. Got my little barbell, tiny little pistol ball, several buttons. I actually found this giant coat button, a tomback, and this quite a bit more modern. It might even be a 4-hole, I can't tell, but the back is iron. And this, I'm not sure what it is. I didn't show it earlier. It might be a giant ball button, but the back is gone. And then out front here, my little chain, my tag, which at the moment, don't know what it is, but I'm excited to find out, do some research. a little brass ring, probably from the end of the 1800s, maybe Civil War era. And then last but not least, the Connecticut copper, the only coin I found today, and also probably one of the oldest things up here, 1780s more than likely. Really, really great day. A variety of things from a variety of time periods, and it makes for an exciting day. You never know what you're gonna find. All right, folks, I want to thank you again for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. This may be the last time I'm able to get out here this year. There was snow in the higher elevations here in Vermont last night, and I don't think where I'm at is too far behind. Hopefully a few more times. If you enjoyed today's video, I post one of these every other Friday in the wintertime, every Friday in the summertime. So if you liked what you saw, consider subscribing to see more, and hopefully I'll see you next week.